Hello, everybody. I think we are live actually on YouTube. So let's get this party started. Let's go live here on TikTok. We're just going to do simple politics today because it's, the State of the Union is tonight. So let's see here. Go live. And now we're on. For anybody that's coming in, please like and subscribe if this is your first time. Otherwise, come in to TikTok to join up, or you can type in this tiny URL .com/ deconjunk. I think I had two mics going on there. All right, let me see. What else do I need here? How's everybody doing today? We having a good Tuesday afternoon. Sometimes it's evening for some. It's actually around lunchtime for others. Uh if you are interested, like I said, and you want to come in and discuss this topic, you can either join up if you're on TikTok. Uh, Otherwise, you can type in this URL, tinyurl.com/deconjunk, and I get you up. Let's see what else. What's all going on? We got the State of the Union tonight. I heard that it's probably just going to be like an AI video of Trump, which wouldn't surprise me because the guy is like literally like his brain is mush. So that'd be interesting to see. It'd be very, very interesting to see. I don't really want to like hear him go and like ramble on for hours at an end. So hopefully there is just like an AI video of him making some sort of sense, because he is not making sense to me. I don't know about you guys. If you're watching on TikTok, please tap the screen, double tap, share out the live. Let's try and get this live going. Let's get some discussions going, and hopefully we can have a good discussion day. I'm hoping for this, at least, at the very, very least. Hey, resist. Let me see. I don't know if there's a way for me to refresh this chat. Filter. Let's turn that off. MAGA is not failing. It won in a landslide. Oh, okay. That means it might have won the election in 2024 in November, but it is currently 2026. So we've been in office with MAGA for a little over a year now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Travel. And yeah, so how's that going for you? Have prices gone down? Has life gotten any easier? I know a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say when Biden was president. They had a lot of things to complain about, but it's funny because the standard seems to be a lot different when it comes to Trump. So yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Who douche? Mike G. Yeah, I would say that Trump is kind of a douche. Actually, like the whole administration. Honestly, Pam Bondi is kind of a douche. My only complaint is people like you. All right, Mike. Well, what do you mean? People that are like speaking their opinion? Because that's all I'm doing. So long as Trump is alive, MAGA will still be around even when he's out of office. Okay. I'm not disagreeing with that. TDS at its finest. So, can we talk about that? Like, I actually think that Trump derangement syndrome is like what MAGA supporters actually have, because they are willing to just let anything slide when it comes to that man, like anything. And like I'm talking about like the worst of the worst kind of stuff, like P3DO stuff. The type of cope that I've heard, yeah, exactly, Cedar, copium. The type of cope that I've heard when it comes to the e-files and his relation to Mr. Schmepstein himself. I've heard quite a bit of copium. Hello, are you there? Timothy? Hold on. I might have to add another little thing here. Hold on. My sound is never working. I'm sorry, guys. Where are we? Podcast there. Timothy, are you there? Can you hear me? Timothy. All right. They just left. I liked that background, though. I thought it was kind of funny. Orange Man just had the worst year for jobs in 20 years. It's true. That sucks. You know, like, and he's gonna have that State of the Union tonight. Like, what is he gonna like? Just lie? Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing he's just gonna lie. Magda must be in Mexico. 86 electoral votes isn't a landslide. Yeah, I would agree. It was not quite a landslide. Considering who was all involved in actually voting, he'll just lie for sure. Yeah, I agree. I think that he'll just lie and waste everybody's time tonight. Uh, what time is he going live with his State of the Union? I think it's like 9 p.m. Eastern time. The best president. Okay, Mike. Would you like to come up and instead of spam, or are you just a bot? You guys sound so angry and bitter. It's sad. I just want to know how they're not failing. Prove me wrong that MAGA is not failing. Have you seen the guys like numbers lately? We love Trump and ICE. Who's we? Who's we? Crime down 50%. What? I mean, crime has been down like significantly since I like for the last like 15 years, if not more. Like since the like 2000s, crime has been going down. So like 50% from when? I would like to know what you mean by that. That's an absolute lie. Under Biden, crime was not down. You're going through liberal nonsense. Bro, come up here and explain this to me then. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Winners in the corral. What does that mean? Oh, yeah. Resist. Okay. Sorry. I didn't see it was you, resist. Incredible crowd. Record setting, they're saying, bigger than any State of the Union crowd ever. I've seen them all. State of the Union has never, and I mean never, been stronger. It's the best. It's the best State of the Union. Go resist in Mexico. Why? Like what? I can't have an opinion. I can't speak out. I don't have the First Amendment right to say that I think that MAGA is failing. You know, Charlie Kirk used to do these kind of things, and you guys love that guy. So you could just say that I'm just trying to be like Charlie. I'm just trying to be like Charlie, just like you guys. No, I think we got a bunch of scaredy cats in the chat here. Trump love. Oh, okay, Mike Terror. Trump love. Oh, rest in peace, CK. Inflation gone, totally gone. Prices are so low. You walk into a grocery store and they're basically paying you. I mean, that's exactly what like Trump wanted out of this whole like trade deficit argument that they were like trying to use to justify tariffs, right? Like people don't quite understand what a trade deficit is, and I think that that's funny because you could just simply like imagine going to the supermarket or grocery store. You don't pay like they don't buy things from you when you go to the grocery store. Maybe if you're like returning aluminum cans, they'll pay you, but you don't go there and say like, "Hey, why aren't you buying my sandwiches, you know, that I make for lunch for my kids?" Like that's not how trade works. And we are a net importer as Americans. So we are going to have trade deficits. And if you don't understand that, I'd be more than happy to explain it to you further if you'd like to come up. And again, to come up, all you got to do is join up by clicking the little pink and blue guy down here. If you're on TikTok, if you are watching on YouTube, you just got to type in this little URL into it's up there into your browser, and we can get you on this call here and we can have a little discussion. If you start off and your baseline is TDS, there's no arguing with you. Bardicus, explain. Oh, well, I think we got somebody here. Rona Beats, are you there? All right, can I get your age just real quick? All right, and let me see here. All right, you said 38, Rona. And what brings you up?
Yeah, so you brought up crime, and so my claim is that this administration is more better on crime than any other administration, and we can see it with numbers like the biggest DRUG bust in history. Crime is down nationwide right now. We've seen the biggest fraud bust in history. Not only that, we're looking into fraud in Minneapolis.
That fraud
Yeah,
in Minneapolis that you're talking about has been handled. Did you know that it was not Somalis that were like leading that fraud either? It was actually a white lady.
yeah, the white lady was the main one, but she had co-conspirators with her, and they were Somalian for sure. She
Okay.
wasn't just the only
So,
one. She wasn't just the
but
only
that's
one that
already
got
been
caught.
dealt with, right? Like they've already figured out. Yeah, Amy Bach, I think was their name.
Yeah, Amy Bach. Yeah, Amy Bach. Yep.
I'm
Did
gonna
she?
look
Do you
at
see her
her.
co-conspirators?
Like I'm kind of the buck stops here with the head of the snake kind of thing. So,
Ah, got it. Got it.
and yeah, I think she did have like 57 co-conspirators, and then somehow that
Hmm.
got construed into all Somali people.
Well, I'm not going to say all Somali, but they were definitely Somalians there for sure.
Okay, but out of 57 of like how many Somali people live in this population, they were trying to like literally blame everybody, and like at the same time they were trying to blame Tim Waltz and Ilhan Omar for some reason.
Yeah, well, Elon Omar, she actually had a case where she got fined for basically fraudulent activities, and Tim Walz stepped down, and like when all this has started coming out, so it's assumed to believe that he has somewhat to do with all that fraud in Minneapolis, seeing that he was the head of the governor, my bad, the governor of that state, and pretty much just
So
yeah,
do you
it
think
just go ahead.
uh, so you I mean, I would agree that like to an extent, like once again, like the buck stops where, right? So if there's fraud
I mean, what
going
do you
on,
mean? What do you mean by the buck stops? Like, what do you
okay,
mean
have you
by
ever
that?
heard that term, like the buck stops here?
I
It's a
heard that, but I don't really
that
understand
means
how you're
like
trying to use
the
it.
boss is where like
Uh huh.
the ultimate like onus or like the responsibility comes from, right? So like yeah, maybe Tim Waltz does have a little bit of responsibility in this, and maybe even by certain like ways Ilan Omar too. But
Hmm.
how much other fraud is going on, like let's say like just like nationally, you know
Oh, I'm
uh
sure. Oh, I'm sure there's plenty. Yeah, like how
yeah.
Gavin Newsom mismanaged. What was that? $24 million.
Do you think there's been any fraud like in the federal government?
Oh, I'm sure there has. But my claim is that we're stronger on it than the Democratic Party for sure,
Are you sure
by
about
far.
that?
Yep.
Okay. And what would make you so sure about that?
Just the simple fact that when the last 4 years under Biden, we didn't hear about any kind of fraud at all. We haven't heard. Matter of fact, have we even heard about crime numbers going down at all?
Uh, Wait, like you're speaking in a present tense. Do you mean like did we hear about crime numbers going down? Is
Yeah,
that what you mean?
yeah.
Like
Like, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm asking because I see crime
for
numbers
the
going down right now. I
last
see us going hard on crime right now.
mhm.
Again, we've seen the largest DRUG bust in history, like in
Where?
history under
Where was
this
that?
administration. You could just type in, you could just look it up. Type in biggest DRUG bust in history.
Yeah, but like I would say overall that crime has been going down.
Hmm.
And that could be due to a lot of factors, right? I don't think that it's just because like Trump got into office and all of a sudden like crime is just like dealt with, right? Like what did he do specifically to like crack down on crime? I would need to know a little bit more like minutia when it comes to just crime has gone down. Like yeah, it's been gone down since the 90s. Like gang activity has gone down, but that's largely due to like reintegration programs, like things that reduce recidivism, like anger management classes. There's a
Right.
lot that goes into that. It's not just daddy's in office, so now crime's down.
Right. But we can also look at cases like, for example, Nick Shirley. He wasn't appointed by Trump. He was just a MAGA supporter. He supported
He
Trump,
exposed
and he
nothing.
decided
He
to go.
exposed
And
something
he,
that had already been dealt with in 2024. So what about him?
oh, so the daycare fraud and all that is it's all fake. All the stuff he's
No, what I'm saying
he,
is that it was already like it had already been noticed and it had already been dealt with. So what did he do? Like he didn't expose anything. We were already aware of it.
were we really?
Yes.
I was unaware of that. When were we first informed about all this fraud going on in Minneapolis? When?
It's so funny that you like want to like narrow in on just Minneapolis, but sure.
Well, no,
Nick
we could.
Shirley
Since we're just on the topic, I
exposed
mean,
fraud. Here, let's see here. Did he expose? Let's see. He went viral for claiming to expose widespread fraud in Minnesota. But his findings have been heavily disputed. Like, did you see recently? Like the kid's an idiot. First of all,
well, see,
like
and that's the thing, and that's the thing I kind of want to
he
push
can't
back
even
on
say
too.
things like
It,
benevolent. Like he can't even say the word
right?
benevolent, which is really
Sure,
funny.
sure, sure, sure.
And he's
But
also
this,
trying to
but
say that there's voter fraud in these, like he's calling them like UPS stores or 7-Elevens when there's actually like apartment complexes above these
I heard
locations.
about that. I heard about that, and you may be right about
Like
that.
how embarrassing.
But however, this is my thing though: is why would we even be mad at Nick Shirley for trying to expose?
You must have got a call or something.
Sorry about that. Sorry about.
Are you okay? Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm back. I had a phone call. My bad. No, but my thing is like, why would we even be mad at Nick Shirley for trying to expose fraudulent activity within our tax dollars? I don't get why, like, we're even pushing back on this guy. Like, what? Like, wouldn't you? Like, wouldn't you? Why? Like, why are you mad that Nick Shirley is going after people suspected of
Because
fraud?
he's
Like,
lying,
why?
like
He's
what he's
lying.
talking about was already dealt with. This is what I'm saying.
Like,
Like
what do you mean?
the
What do you
places
mean?
that he
What
was
was
in
dealt
front
with?
of and all of that, like he went in front of what was it, like some daycares, which is by the way, that's really creepy. Like where children are being held, like and then trying to ask like where all the kids are, like that's really
Yeah,
weird.
see, you
But
guys will just like
okay,
you guys
sure.
will just demonize it.
Let me keep
I
going
don't
though.
see why.
So that was like what I was like on a holiday, and he was wondering where these kids are, and it's like, well, if their parents aren't working, then they're probably with their parents, right?
Wait,
And
what?
like what did he expose? Can you like explain to me like anything that he
Yeah,
actually
so
exposed?
he went to these daycare centers where our tax dollars go,
No, okay,
right?
he made a
Would you agree?
claim. He made a claim. Now
What do
back
you
that
mean? There's
claim up.
actual video. There's video of him actually going to these daycare facilities.
Yeah, I can make a
You just
video
said
of,
it
of
yourself.
standing outside of an empty building too and be like, oh well, there's nobody going in and out, so this must be fraud.
So you're
Like
saying
there's a
the
large
millions of
leap of logic there.
So are you saying the millions of dollars that he's claiming to have traced to our tax
So it says
dollars?
here,
Those
it
are,
says
is
here,
that
state officials from the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families, the DCYF, stated that they had visited the 10 facilities in Shirley's video within the previous 6 months and found them operating as expected. So where's this fraud? Because the DCYF had been looking into these places already, and like at least
and
within
and
within six
and
months of that video. and they
Right.
found nothing. They were
So
working
then
just
what are
fine.
you talking about that these cases have already been
Those
solved?
can't be
What
trusted.
cases are you talking about?
This is actually Fox 9 KMSP. Minnesota GOP worked with YouTuber on childcare fraud viral video. Let's see here. It says the Minnesota GOP says it worked with Nick Shirley, who claimed to have uncovered roughly $100 million of fraud at a Somali run daycare center in Minneapolis, or at centers in Minneapolis during a virtual press conference on whenever this was. This was like the Monday before when this posted. The streaming again. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. OBS was not
So
being a happy camper there just for a second. All
are you
right.
referring to a Minnesota article?
I'm talking here. Let me pull up the article here. It is a Fox 9, which is KMSP, where it's Minneapolis, St. Paul. This is
So
from
Minneapolis based.
yeah.
Do we have anything from like the DOJ or
Why would I
something like it?
I mean, this is actually talking
Well, I'm
about
just asking. Well, I'm just asking because if we're gonna ask like Minneapolis, like, hey, is there fraud going on? And you know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
how do we know that they're not gonna be biased and be like, well, yeah, this kid came and tried to expose some stuff, but he was wrong. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Well, so you're saying that we can't trust the Department of Children, Youth and Family, like families, the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth and Families. It says Commissioner Tiki Brown addressed the video, stating that each of the 10 facilities featured in the video had been visited at least once by the state within the past 6 months as part of a standard licensing check. Brown said that the state is now reviewing each site again, and they're running just as expected.
Right. So nothing from the DOJ, nothing like no actual like court hearings or nothing like that
Well, if they're running as
regarding
expected, like what is
anything.
we just have a claim. So why would they have a court hearing over just like a claim from a YouTuber? Am I still
Give me a
quiet?
sec. Can I teacup for a second?
Sure.
Is it cool? Give me a sec.
I still once again I don't know understand like why we are, and I'm just talking kind of generally here, guest. Why we're like hyper focusing on just Minneapolis when, like I said, this was something that was already like Amy Bach had already been, prosecuted, I believe, for these like crimes, and everything had been dealt with. Like Nick Shirley uncovered like nothing, right? He had uncovered something that was already there. But like when we're talking about like fraud, I mean, just look at like freaking Trump and his kids, like with this like crypto like scam that's going on, and how they're like obviously, like pumping and dumping and getting money either in the form of, like bribes from other countries
Well,
that have like no regulation because,
that's his
his
kids though, right? That's not him.
that's him. I mean, how is it not him?
Uh, that's his kids, bro.
He's his kids are
Like
just
if we're
running
gonna,
the company that he's making money off of.
so Trump is running. You said Trump is running that.
Yeah.
Where can I see that Trump is running that, and it's not his
All right.
kids?
So Trump backed crypto. Let's see here. Crypto. What is the name of that company? It's called like. Trying to find the actual name of the. Yeah, the World Liberty Financial. Let's see. Does Trump make
Because I heard
money
it
from
because
World
I heard.
Liberty Financial? I mean, like we can even look at the like Qatari jet that he got, right? Like that's like worth like hundreds of millions of dollars alone.
Yeah, that's
And
not his though.
okay,
That's not
but
Trump's
it's
though.
it's going to be his basically to use while he's in office, and then it's going to go to his library. So
What does that even mean? Like his library? What does that mean?
That means it's basically it's his, but it's not his.
So
Yeah,
does
so
that mean?
he's gonna
So
use
does
it.
that mean
So that means he gets to use it, but he doesn't have to like claim it.
is the next president going to use that as well?
No, because it would be at his library for his use. It's not ours. It would be his libraries. So like, why are we focusing on Minneapolis when that's already been dealt with, like I had mentioned,
What do you mean it's
and
been dealt with? Are you talking about with that one case with what's her name? The
yeah,
white lady?
yeah, and in the 10 places that he named in Nick Shirley's video, they have like looked into and they're running as expected. So
Yeah, wasn't there a few more what's that? I don't know the guy's name, but his net worth like skyrocketed. So did what's her name? Elon Omar. Didn't her net worth skyrocket as well?
let's.
Like
Do
dirt
you want
like
to
in a
see?
year, like
Okay,
in 1 year. Like in 1 year, I think it went from what was it, somewhere like 80K to like I don't know, like 10 mil or something like that. I could be wrong with the exact number, but could we
80K
look that up
to
real
10
quick?
mil.
I could be wrong with the
It says
figures, but I'm
disclosures at
sure.
the end of 2025. She's largely linked to her husband's firm, Rose Lake Capital. So her husband has like dealings with some capital investments, 5 million to 25 million. Let's see. She was making like before she was married, like 40K between
40K.
40 to 250,000 here in 2023. Yeah, I'm not gonna
And then
like.
what is
That's
it? And what is
probably
it today?
like. I
Hold on,
feel
hold on,
like
hold
you
on.
could
Wait,
do
wait,
this
wait.
for
Wait,
any like
wait.
senator or
Hold on, wait.
any
What is
kind
it?
of
What
like
is it?
person in office, right? Like
Wait, wait, what
this
is
is
it
not
today though?
surprising to me. You get book
So it was
deals, you
40K.
get speaking
Hold
deals,
on.
you network with people that are uber rich. Of course, they're gonna try and like line your pockets as like lobbyists do. I think
Right.
that that's
So
bad personally.
so from 40K to what is it today? What is she worth today?
Okay, let me see if I can find like an actual. Trump claims Ilhan Omar is worth 44 million. Forbes says that that's highly unlikely. Her 2024 disclosure reported uh, incorrectly listed her husband's stake in businesses and violated House disclosure. Oh, God, this is from Forbes. Filed in 2025 May, her latest financial disclosure, Omar valued husband Tim Meinett's venture capital firm, Rose Lake Capital, at 5 million to 25 million and his winery at 1 million to 5 million, far greater than the. Okay, and it looks like she valued them much less than that the previous year. Okay, that does sound kind of like sketchy. I will say that.
Hmm.
But at
Also
the same time,
Minneapolis.
like,
Also Minneapolis,
how
right?
about we compare like all like people holding office here? Like why are we just focusing on one? Like just Ilhan Omar? Like can we
Well, that's well
let's just
because
look
well
at
because
any
there's a
kind
lot of
of.
fraud coming. There's a lot of fraud coming from that state as a whole. There's also another guy. There's also another guy
There's
who
fraud
uh,
everywhere.
there's also another guy too, though. I forget his name, but the guy he was doing a press conference, and somebody asked him like, and I get it, and I get his response. Like they asked him like, how are you affording all these like luxury cars and stuff like that? And he responded like, you don't ask Trump how much his beach was. Like that was a good response. Like I get that, but just another figure in this state of a bunch of fraud going on.
Okay,
Like
so but like why are we just focusing on one person when we should be looking at the overall? Like all of these senators are making bank, right? Would you not agree with that? Would you say do you think there's any senators that are not like profiting off of their
yeah,
position?
yeah, of course.
So
But
then
when you
why are we
have one
focusing
state
on
where
just
every
Ilhan
single,
Omar? This seems like very targeted, right?
well, yeah, sure,
Like let's
because
look
we're
at
on the topic of
like
Minnesota.
Fetterman worth before and after office.
Yeah, let's do Tim Walls
Okay, now
too.
he has a net
Like,
worth of 1.66 million. Let's see, derived from his before it was like around 217,000. So there's a 4 times jump for Fetterman. Should we look at anybody else here? You have, let's look at who's a Republican? Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan net worth before and after office. All right, let's see. As of 2018, he was worth about 289,000. Jeez, even before. Let's see.
what about
And
Tim
then
Walls? Can we
where's
do
he at?
him?
He's currently valued. They said his suggested value right now is at about 1.5 million. So that's another five
Who
times jump.
who is
So
that?
this is Jim Jordan of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you can look up any of these people, and like it's obvious that they're making a lot of money from the connections, the networking, the lobbying. Like I don't understand like what your point is. Like you're like taking this thing that applies to everybody, and then you're just like only pointing out one person.
Well, no, I'm pointing out a whole state that is pretty much under scrutiny right now for the way they're handling money.
You don't think that
And
that has anything to do with like Trump just like having a personal vendetta against the state because of the voting? Like they actually literally said that they would pull ICE out of the state if they gave them like the voter rolls because they wanted to look at the 2020 election. So
wait,
like
what?
you didn't hear about that? You didn't hear where Pam Bondi
Say that.
sent the message
Say that
saying we
again.
will pull ICE out of your state if you just give us like the voter rolls that we want?
The voter rolls. What does that
Yeah,
mean?
like the voter registration rolls. So
You mean
states
to see if
don't
like
have to
you mean
give
to see
the
if who was voting?
yeah, to see like who voted and what they voted for. The
Yeah,
states
that's a
don't have
little.
to.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Uh huh.
Yeah,
The
that is
states
weird.
don't have to what?
They don't have to give them up, but a lot of states do because their governors are beholden to Trump because there's like a cult of personality that's going on, which,
Yeah.
if you ask me, is weird, right? Like we've never seen such like allegiance to just like one, like president. Like this is it, states should be kind of their own, like autonomous sovereignty, right? In a way, like there, of course, there's going to be federal laws. There's going to be federal things that we deal with at a larger level. But for the most part, uh, I would not want to be like aligned with any kind of like president in the way that, say, like in my state of Nebraska, like Jim Pillen, the guy is in lockstep with Trump, and all he just does it because he wants Trump's backing when it comes to his reelection campaign.
Yeah, but we could say that for anybody though as well. Just like how you said, we can look at
Yeah,
anybody
but
whose
like
net worth jumped. We could look
we
at
didn't have
anybody
like
who wants to align
we
with the
didn't allow
president.
the like population of my state to give up the voter rolls, but Nebraska voluntarily gave them up because the governor was just willing to do that. So,
Yeah,
but it doesn't
and
matter
I
because Nebraska is
and
not a a swing state. Minnesota is though.
right.
So how do we
So
know
yeah,
that this isn't just like some targeted, like once again, this is all going on all over the place, but we're like hyper focusing on one area.
well that's funny
Fraud is
because I think if
all
they wanted,
over.
well, I feel like if they wanted ice off their back, like a lot of them do, right? You would agree. Why not just come up with the Senate bill like Texas did with Senate Bill 8 and just cooperate and just let us know like where these illegal immigrants are, and we could just come after them and it'd be easy, just like a walk in the park, just like how Obama did it. Just
Because
a walk in the park.
states
Just talk
don't
to these.
have to, they don't have to just bend over, right? The
So
states
you're gonna hoard these criminal illegal immigrants
are,
in, is what you're saying.
where's the
And that's
criminals?
a good
I
idea.
all I've been seeing is them trying to deport a lot of people that are working.
Where are the criminals? I'll tell you right now. Go on dhs.gov/WOW and we can look at a list of their names, their
I don't
faces,
care.
where they're
I
at,
don't
and their
care.
crimes.
Like
What do you
what I'm
mean? See
saying
what I
is
mean? Like, see what I mean? Like, you don't care. Like, you. So
like
why
every
even
story
ask?
that
Like,
gets reported from the media, like yeah, sure
ah.
there's some
So
criminals
we're
in
just
there,
grabbing. So we're
but
just
like a
grabbing
lot of
random
them
faces and
are
they're.
people that are, they've either handled their stuff, they may have like they may have, like outsat their visas, but for the most part what I'm seeing is like normal people that are getting like round up in, like restaurants or like meat packing plants, and
Uh
they're
huh.
just trying to deport these people, claiming that they're all
Where
like
do you
these
know where the
horrible
most?
criminals, when in
Do you
fact,
know where the
with the
most?
Schmepstein files coming out, we're noticing that the criminals are in the White House.
Yeah, well, now you're trying to pivot somewhere else. But let's
No,
take on
I'm
this
just
real quick.
saying that like
Just real
there's a
quick.
lot of double standards going on
Okay,
here.
I hear you. I hear you. But let's just stick to this. Why can't Minnesota or any of these cities or states? Why can't they just come up with a Senate bill like Texas did? Do you know where the most
to
illegal
to
immigrants
bend
are being
over,
deported from?
because
Hold on.
they want to
Like you call it
actually
bend
help.
over. Like why do you call it bend
They
over
want to
when we're
help
just trying to deport
they want to
illegal
help
immigrants?
people that are trying to get like they're trying to be part of, America as citizens legally.
Even the
Well,
criminals
if they're
that
sitting
are in
outside
jails.
of ICE court, of immigration court, like trying to round them up while they're trying to like legally go and handle their things, yeah, like something's messed up.
Wait, but you want the worst of the worst to be deported, correct?
I'm not seeing the worst of the worst.
Wait. Hold on. But you want to see the worst of the worst be deported, though,
Sure,
correct?
yeah, sure,
Okay.
yeah, like if they're
So
committing like
why can't?
schmurder, then yeah, like deport them. But if they're like here just off of, sitting out a visa, do they really need to get deported? Or maybe we should look at like amnesty.
Well, they're just deporting people who are not here
They're
legally. That's all.
deporting anybody and everybody. What are you talking about?
No. Anybody and everybody. Okay, cool. Got it. Do you know where the most illegal? The most deportations are coming from? What state? The number one
It's like
state?
Arizona and Texas.
Texas. Right, Texas. And
They're
do you know
border
what Senate
states.
Bill 8? Do you know what Senate Bill 8 is?
Again, let's talk about the issue on like the full scale here. Like
Well,
Senate Bill
the
8 in
well,
Texas. Sure, let's look it up.
yeah, type in Senate Bill 8 ICE
As of late, Senate Bill 8.
because you want the worst of the worst. You want
Wait,
the
the
worst of
Women's
the worst out of
Privacy
here.
Act?
No, did you type in ICE after?
Are you getting your Senate bills mixed up? SB 8 passed in 2025. That the county jails enter into a formal agreement with ICE.
Uh-huh.
It compels local law enforcement to assist in identifying, detaining, and processing individuals suspected of being in the country illegally, essentially
Uh-huh.
deputizing them as federal immigration agents.
So
So
I don't see why
I
most
don't
states
understand why
with
we are giving these like federal agents all of this power when
wait, you
they
said you want
can.
to go after the worst of the worst though, right? You just
The
said
law
you want the worst of
enforcement,
the
what
worst to be
are the law
deported.
enforcement not able to do their job?
Well, when you got people like Gavin Newsom who's letting them out of jails uh, and letting them run
Who?
free, I think that's a
What are
problem.
you talking about?
Look up Gavin Newsom lets out illegal immigrants of jails.
Are they dangerous? Like, are they violent?
I
Like,
mean, they're
I mean,
coming
is
out
this
of
on
jail.
par? Is
I
this on
mean,
par with like the pardons
I don't know. They're coming out of
that
jail. Like,
Trump like? Is this on par with like the pardons that Trump was doing for like the January 6th rioters?
I know you want to pivot so bad to
No,
Trump,
I'm just
Trump,
saying.
Trump.
Like,
We're going from ICE to
why
every
can't
single two
I?
seconds. You're like, let me go to Trump. It's not
Look,
about
this
ICE,
is
guys.
about MAGA.
Forget about the fact that I said I want to deport the worst of the worst, and we should cooperate with them, just like Texas is. Let's
I don't
revert to
agree
Trump
that
and
we should just
January
like
6th now.
uh like bend over and cooperate with this.
Why?
Did you
Wait, why
not?
do you
Did you
keep
see the
saying bend over?
whistleblower?
Like,
Did you see
hold
the
on. Why do you
whistleblower
keep
that just
saying?
like came out
Hold
yesterday,
on, hold
and
on,
they
hold
had
on.
like a
Why do you
two
keep
hour
saying bend? Why do you keep saying bend over? Like, what do you mean bend over? Like, what do you mean by that?
like sitting there and allowing these federal agents to come in
To
and do
deport
whatever they want.
criminals? To deport criminals? Like,
No,
what?
they're like breaking
What's
the
wrong with that?
Constitution. Do you know that these ICE agents are like not being trained properly? They're not being like trained legally. Like they're
Like
not.
Alex Preddy, right? Like Alex Preddy.
No, what I'm saying, like, did you just watch the 2 hour like discussion that they had with the whistleblower last night
What whistleblower about what?
about
What are you
ICE? He
talking
was a
about
training.
now?
He was a trainer for ICE, and he like exposed uh that they have like dropped the amount of training hours. They don't fail anybody. Like when they take the test, they would normally fail people. Like, and they would say you'd have to go back, wait 60 to 90 days, and then you would come back and reapply. Now they're not doing that. They're just
Hmm.
like accepting anybody that applies for ICE, giving them a badge and a pew pew,
Hmm.
and yeah, then things like Alex Preddy happen, right? Because they don't have the
Yeah,
proper training for like engagement.
right.
And
And so
then
ICE did
now
ICE
we
ICE
are
ICE
putting U.S.
unalived.
citizens at risk because we're not training these officers. And then now you're saying that these states should just bend over and allow these untrained officers to come
See,
in
you say,
and do things like
you say
warrantless
bend over.
search, like in houses, like just breaking down doors without
Wait,
having a
wait,
warrant.
wait. So you say bend over. I say just help cooperate with ICE. What you call bending over? Like you
Yeah,
guys shouldn't just bend over and give over these criminals. I'm like, bro, that's just cooperating with
no,
ICE agents, bro.
I'm saying that
Like
we've been
what?
okay when Obama and even Trump's first administration. Like I worked at an detention facility, okay? And the way that they would handle like all of these things is they would, run their ID, like if they had a traffic stop or if somebody even like, put in a whatever, like a call, they would look these people up. They would put a detainer on them. They would, if they got arrested, they would be held and they would deal with their local, crimes, and then ICE would, from there on, like determine whether or not they'd need to be deported. And if they were going to be deported, then we wouldn't let them out of the jail, right? We would just give them over to ICE, and then they would take them on a plane to their home country.
Almost like they were cooperating with Obama,
Yeah,
right?
they have been cooperating, but when you start like creating this untrained army of idiots, yeah, then maybe you don't want to cooperate so much
Wait,
because now
wait.
now you're
You're
putting
saying
your
hold on. So your
population at
claim
risk.
so this is what you're saying, right? You're saying, hey, I know Obama. They cooperated with Obama, and it was a walk in the park for him to deport these people. But now that Trump is
They
coming
still had
office, he
sanctuary
just
cities when Obama was president. I mean, like,
it started under Obama, but before that, he would just go in and ask these fucking states, hey, can you hand over those criminals? And they said, sure, because we like you and you're a Democrat, so here you go.
no.
Easy, walk in the park.
In Trump's
Why do you think
first
his numbers? Why do you
during
think his
Trump's
numbers
first
were
four
so?
years, so you realize Trump has been a president before, right? He had four
Yeah.
years where he was president. Okay, they were cooperating then. It's now because everything's different, right? We have like a whole like plethora
When did
of
they
all
stop
of these
cooperating?
uh
What
like untrained ICE agents that they've been hiring
what
in mass. They've taken the
when did they
budget
stop
out of
cooperating?
their training. They're now
When did they
they're
stop cooperating?
I'm telling you, like this administration is different, right? Because
During
we
this
haven't.
administration, right?
Yeah. Why are they like uh hiring in mass all of these ICE agents, right? For mass deportations, right? Well, apparently we had more deportations under Obama and even like during Biden's presidency. They didn't need this like waste of taxpayer funds, but no, they're gonna have this huge, like campaign to hire all of these new ICE agents, promise them things like $50,000 bonuses and $60,000 towards student loans, which we'll see if that ever happens.
Hey, did Texas bend over backwards when they made that bill? Did they bend over backwards?
Mandatory cooperation. I would say that that's yeah. That like you're taking
Okay,
away
got it.
the state autonomy, the sovereignty that a state would hold, and you're giving it over to the federal government. That's
For
weird to
to
me.
deport criminals, right?
Yeah, if these untrained, do you realize that these guys only get like 40 days of training? That's wild. That's a little
That
over a
okay,
month.
that you're
These are
not
people that are
you keep
18.
obfuscating. You keep
These are people that are
obfuscating from what we're
18.
talking about. Do you
These are
see how you
people.
keep obfuscating to what we're talking about, bro?
What are you
Like
talking about?
I asked you,
You're
are they
asking
bending
me,
over
are they bending
backwards?
over? And I'm saying,
And then you
yeah,
pivot
by
and then you
letting
pivot to
these untrained individuals come in and act as law enforcement when their law
wait,
enforcement has to
wait.
take
So
like a 6-month class and they have to get all these certificates. They have to do
hey,
all
so
of these things, but
if they're
apparently you
untrained,
could just go and apply for ICE. You don't have to do nothing other than go to a 47-day training that doesn't fail you, and then you get the same
hey,
powers. You
so
have the
if
same. Like, do you really trust law
hold on real
enforcement
quick.
that is untrained like that? No, I'm
Well,
asking you,
actually, if
dude.
they're
Answer my
yeah,
question,
hold on.
Rona. You do. You would
Well, you
trust.
keep
You trust
obfuscating
these.
for
No, answer my question. These people are only going through like 47-day
okay, I'll answer your question.
trainings.
Hey, I'll answer your
You want
question.
to
I'll
trust
answer your
now? Who are
question.
you going to trust more? Are you going to
Should
trust
I
the 47-day guy who's 18, or are you going to trust the officer that went to actual like academy for at least 6 months? Which one are you going to trust more?
the officer, which
Okay.
so you're
So
saying so
that's
hold
what
on
the
now,
sheriffs
wait.
are.
Now
That's
I
what the
answered your
state
question.
police are. And
Uh-huh.
you're saying that they should just allow these ICE agents that have not been trained in the same amount of time to have the same amount of
To cooperate with them.
to
If they're if they're
mandatorily cooperate
untrained,
with them.
if they're untrained, it sounds like we should just let them cooperate with them and everything will run smooth, right?
If they're untrained, we should just allow them to just come in
Wait, what's
and do
worse?
these.
Wait, what's worse? What's worse? Hold on, hear me out. Hear me out. What's worse? ICE just going in there untrained or cooperating with local law enforcement and things run smooth? Which one would you pick?
Those are the same thing. What are you talking about?
No, well, according to you, they're not.
No, if local
According to
law
you, you're saying,
enforcement has to like mandatorily cooperate with ICE, who's
uh huh.
untrained, then both of your like options there are the same option. Do you understand what you're
Wait,
saying?
wait. So in one case, with the ICE officers being so untrained
For
and they're
everybody
working
watching, just tap
alone,
that back
right?
screen. Make sure to share the live out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Sorry, I was just giving a little commercial there.
So in your case, we got these ICE agents who are untrained and they're going into these states trying to deport illegal immigrants without any kind of cooperation, correct? From law enforcement, correct?
Yeah, maybe if they
That's
were
what's going on,
trained
right?
properly, they would cooperate with them
Okay, so
more.
forget trying to cooperate with them. They just need to be trained better. Is that your claim?
Sure, we could start there, but they're not being trained better.
So
There
let's
was
not start.
literally
So let's not
a
start with
whistleblower.
let's
Teacup
let's not start
yourself.
with
Teacup
cooperation.
yourself right now and go on Google and
I
look
gotta
up
go. I gotta go in a
whistleblower
little bit.
ICE. Look up
I gotta go in a
whistleblower
little bit,
ICE when
but
you leave then, because there
I
was a
gotta go in a
guy,
little bit. But
his name was
yeah,
like
yeah.
Alex
But
Schwenk, who just like came out as an ICE like one of the trainers, and he just like went in front of a Senate committee and told them and showed like this, like there was memos that was trying to say that from an executive order that Trump gave out, that ICE agents now have the ability to make warrantless like entries into houses. Do you want your house to just be like busted down, your front door just busted down for no reason, and when you say where's your warrant, they say fuck off? Is that
nah,
what you
but
want?
if
Do you really
nah,
want
I want
like this type
no,
of
no,
like
no. So
schnazi
I'm
type of
no,
like
no.
Gestapo
Okay. Hey, I'm trying
that
to
it
answer you,
could
bro.
come to your house mistakenly because they've been doing that
I'm trying to answer you, bro.
because
I'm
they're
trying to answer you.
undertrained?
No, no, I don't want that. So we should start cooperating with local law enforcement for things to run smoother.
Okay, that is not what is being proposed in the Senate Bill 8 that Texas put forth. They have to
what is going on?
it's mandatory that they have to cooperate. They have no
Good. I think
autonomy.
that's a good thing. I think that's a good
You
thing.
think that these
Why?
untrained ICE
Why is that?
officers should have the same power,
Work
if
with
not
law
more,
enforcement.
than the sheriff? You
Are
think that
they're working with
these
law?
ICE
They're
officers,
wait.
like I said, that are being hired at the age of 18, their training only goes for
they're gonna
47
get.
days. Get it in
What
47,
was
get
the
it because Trump's 47.
what was the other age? What was the age before that?
I'm sure it was
Do you even know?
18 to 21, but they have to at
Oh,
least
got
take a
it.
6-month.
So it was still 18.
They
Like,
still have to take the
what are you
proper
talking about?
training. I'm just saying that these kids
Right.
have no previous training. Like a lot of the claims that they were trying to say against this whistleblower is that that was not true. That they were not allowing people that had previous positions as like law enforcement, that they wouldn't need that training because they already had it. Well, that's not the case. These, like I'm saying, that these are 18-year-olds that have no previous training in law enforcement, that are being only given 47 days. They give them a pew pew, they give them a badge, and apparently they're training them that they can warrantlessly enter houses, which is unconstitutional, right? We have the was it the Sixth Amendment, the one about search and seizure. So what you're telling me, what I'm hearing from you, is that you would rather give up our rights, our amendment right, like our constitutional rights to search and seizure, and force these states to just mandatorily comply with these untrained officers. Is that correct?
You say, yeah, so because they're gonna work with them, and things are gonna run smooth.
How
What's wrong with
smooth?
that?
How smooth did Minneapolis go? Is Christy Nome
Exactly.
still?
Hey, hey, you're making
Would
my
you call
point.
that a
Exactly. That
success?
didn't. Wait, no, no. You're making my point. You're right. That wasn't a success. That
I would
wasn't
say
working.
that
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 wasn't
puts U.S. citizens at risk, because
like
we
Alex Preddy,
saw,
right? Who was
yeah, and Renee
wait,
Good, like
who was Alex Preddy unalive by? Who was he?
he was
Was that an
unalived
ICE
by
agent?
ICE officers. Do you not know who
That's
Alex Preddy
wrong.
is?
That's wrong. That's wrong in your brainwash. Look it up. Type in right now who shot Alex Preddy right now in Google. Type it in.
Are you
Let me
saying
know if
that
that's an ICE agent.
you're saying
No,
that
just type it
it's
in.
not a DHS agent?
Oh, DHS agent now. Ah, see how you're switching it up? I thought it was an
Department of
ICE
Homeland
agent.
Security is ICE, dude. What are you talking about? Our
Wait,
ICE is
wait, no.
Department of Homeland Security. The DHS and
Okay, type it
ICE
in.
are the
Hold on.
same thing.
Type it in right now. Type it in right now.
Or
No,
Border
actually,
Patrol. There's
Border Patrol agents. What is their main job to do? What is their main job to do? A Border Patrol agent?
so are
Work
you
within
trying to like
100
get
yards
into
of the
this like
border?
weird like
No, I'm just trying
label
to.
that still falls under Christy Nome's purview?
Oh, no, I'm just trying to show you that you're wrong about that guy being an ICE agent, which I'm right. He
Do you
wasn't an
think it was
ICE
only one
agent. And you
guy?
just said he
Did you
wasn't.
not see the video? There's like 5
No, there was
guys.
two guys.
No,
There
there's
was
more than
Raimundo
2.
Gutierrez.
There's
There
more
was
than
Raimundo
2.
Gutierrez. Hold on,
See,
I'm
and
going to tell you
again,
right now.
we're hyper focusing on something here
Right.
that
Well, you like to blame everything on ICE. That's why.
no, I'm saying that they're undertrained, and that's a concern. Would you not agree? Do you think that proper training
Sure,
is something that
sure.
they
In my
shouldn't have
sure.
if they're going to be armed,
Even
and they're going to
even if
be
I
given
do,
power to
even
enforce the law? Do you think
even
that
if
we
I
should
do,
just
my
be? Do you
solution.
think 47 days
Hold
is
on.
enough time?
Even if I do, my solution is 10 times better than your solution.
How? Hello? All right. Are you there?
Yeah, I
How
had
is
another
your
phone call.
solution better? I don't understand. All I'm saying is at least
Yeah,
train these
yeah.
guys
So okay, hear me out. I'll
properly.
tell you. I'll tell you. I'll explain it perfectly. I'll explain it perfectly. I think just like the how Obama did, we should the ICE agents to go in to these states and just hand over these criminals
It
like they
wasn't
did with
mandatory
Obama.
with Obama. They still had
You're
like
right. No, no, you're. No, no.
local authorities could still
I
be like,
never
hey,
said.
no, we're
I never
handling
said it was.
this.
I never said it was mandatory. You're right. It wasn't
I'm not
mandatory. They
muting
just
anybody,
handed them
Sage.
over with. Hold on. You're right. It wasn't mandatory. They just happily handed these criminals over to Obama.
Yeah,
Happily.
I would not say like happily the anybody's happily
I think they
giving up
Trump.
like conceding any sort of shit like this. Like, what are you talking about? You're like framing this like really oddly to me, dude. Like, you sound like somebody that
What, how?
that would like support
How?
like the Schnazis back in like Germany back in the day is what it sounds like to me. That you would just like
Why? Because I'm saying
you're
state
saying
and
that
local law enforcement
the
should
secret
cooperate with
army
ICE
that
to
is
help
being told
deport the.
to like unconstitutionally like do their job, breaking the rights of people. Oh, why am I hearing myself? You got me on like a Bluetooth or something?
Uh, Look, this is what I'm saying is they should cooperate like they did with Obama. Obama didn't have to force them. He didn't have to say mandatory this, mandatory that. He simply
Why
just
did
said,
Trump
"Can
have
we
to
have these
create this
illegal
untrained
criminals?" And
army
they just handed them over
adults? Why is there this untrained army of adults right now that are going out?
because you have
See,
because you have states
we
that
have
are
a
hoarding these
different
criminals.
immigration enforcement now compared to like when
Because you
Obama,
have states
even
that
Trump's first administration,
because you have states that are hoarding these criminals. That's why.
hoarding criminals. Is that how
Yes,
you really like?
yes,
Are they hoarding
yes,
schmurderers? You think that these schmurderers are just like
yes.
being held
They're
and
not. They are not cooperating. They are not cooperating with any kind of federal law enforcement at all, and that's a problem. Let me ask you something. Let's say in California. Hold on.
I
Let
don't
me ask you
know
something. Let's
how
say in
like
California.
you think that this is
Hold on,
even
real quick.
close to what's actually happening.
Let me. Let,
If they commit a crime in America, then law enforcement
yeah, there was
will
a undocumented immigrant.
apprehend
Hold on,
and prosecute
hold
them.
on, hold on. And then what? And then what? They get deported.
Yeah,
Are they going to contact ICE
they
to
will
come
run
deport
them.
them?
Yeah, through a lot of times through immigration. Like, as far as I know, when we did it at the local jail that I worked at, we would run them through the NCIC, which is like the National Criminal Investigation Unit, and they would look for warrants in other states. And if they had a warrant in another state, then they would look into whether or not that state or local authority wants to extradite them. And then
So if there's a
they would
criminal right
also
now,
run
if
them
there's a
through.
criminal,
Let me finish. They would run them through the ICE like database, and if ICE had anything that would pop up on them, they would put a detainer on them. And
so if there's a
usually,
criminal
if it
in
was
jail,
like
if there's
a
a
crime
criminal,
that is, multiple crimes, I don't know if ICE like lets smaller things kind of go. If they say they're going to have a court date, maybe they can go to that court date. There's a lot of like issues that goes on in these people's lives that I think it's dangerous to just like generalize just simple like people that are committing like misdemeanors as on par with the schmurderers and rapists.
so let's say there's a DRUG dealer in jail right now in California. Is local and state law
Are you
enforcement going to
do you
contact
really think that
ICE?
they're
And
just like running free, that if they get picked
well,
up,
no,
that
well,
they're
no. I'm
just
just
like,
saying
no,
my
you
claim.
can
No,
leave?
no, I'm saying that they're not
Then what are you
cooperating at
talking
all.
about?
They're just saying, hold on, listen. They're just saying, hey, ICE, like do your own job. We're not going to help you with shit. Even though we have some in jails right now
That's
as we
how they've been
speak,
doing it
criminals.
before. This
Not
is
with
how it
Obama,
was
they
all
weren't.
handled before.
They weren't
Yes,
doing that
under
with Obama.
Obama
No, they
too.
weren't.
Yes. Yes, it was.
No, they weren't. Then why did they
Yes, it
create Saint?
was. They just didn't hire like thousands of these untrained idiots to go in and like go door to door, like literal like people's houses, mixing up addresses.
So they were doing that under Obama. Then they were doing that under Obama. Then
Were they
right?
going door to door? Did your door
I
are
don't
you
know.
saying
I don't
like
know. You tell me. Why were you said sanctuary cities were created because ICE is going door to door and they're not doing the things right, right? That's what you're saying, right? That's why sanctuary cities were created, right?
no, I'm saying that sanctuary cities make it let's look it up here. Like, what makes a sanctuary city a sanctuary city? What makes a sanctuary city? Like, for instance, like I know like some cities, like their local laws would, maybe protect them from federal oversight, right? Let's see here. It limits local law enforcement's cooperation with federal immigration authorities. These jurisdictions generally decline to hold undocumented immigrants for extra time. So they will
Yeah.
still hold them for the proper amount of time, and they will still run them through the systems, but they won't hold them for
So
extra
they don't.
time.
So they don't have to cooperate with federal law enforcement, right?
They're aiming to foster trust between the local police and immigration communities to improve safety. So they're trying to like let people know that uh, if you have an accent, if you may like have a skin color that isn't, white or something, that may like hint at you possibly being from another country, that you're not just going to get profiled, right? Like that sounds reasonable to me. I don't
And that
think
was made under
I
who?
don't think that they're
Hold on.
just
And that
like
was
protecting like criminals the way that you're trying to frame this.
okay. So wait, when was this created? When was sanctuary cities a thing?
They've been
What year was that?
I've known of sanctuary cities for shoot, like since I can remember. I mean, probably since DHS was created, like when there was a very big anti like Middle Eastern sentiment in America.
So it wasn't. It didn't start under
Have you
Obama.
let's see, when did sanctuary cities start? Let's look it up. The policy was initiated in Los Angeles in 1979. It looks like in the early 1980s, as part of a religious-led sanctuary movement to protect Central American refugees fleeing civil wars. So in the
So it
80s,
sounds like. So it sounds like
was
they were.
Obama president in the 80s?
I thought they. Well, I could be wrong. I guess it was created before Obama. Um, but let me ask you this: was it created because ICE was not doing their job properly?
No, this predates ICE. The 80s, you realize that the DHS didn't get like formed until after 9/11, right? That was a response to terrorist attacks on the Americans. I remember
My
when
bad,
they
dude.
established.
I gotta go to work, bro. But I'll hop on later if you're on. We could tangle up a
Sure.
little later. I gotta get to work
Sure.
though,
Yeah.
bro.
Well, it looks like we got plenty of people in the chat here that would like to talk. If anybody's, you have a
I
good
could
day
listen though.
and
I'll
enjoy
go
your
on and
job.
listen though.
Sure.
All right.
All right. Talk to you later. All right. If anybody else wants to come up, you could just click the little request button to come in. I heard a lot of people yapping saw a lot of people yapping in the chats there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can actually join by putting in this little URL up top there, tinyurl.com/deconjunk, JUNC, and I can get you on the call too. Or you could sit and chat and be a little keyboard warrior and try and act tough without actually speaking to me. I'm talking to you. What was your name? Sage? Yeah, Sage. Why don't you come up? Anybody that's watching though right now, make sure to double tap your screen, share the live out. Let's get some people in here. Let's try and get the conversation going. That last guest just did not know what he was talking about, like at all. Hodog, do you want to come up? You have you felt like you had to say a lot there. And let me send an invite to you. We're sorry, I was wrong. The original U.S. Customs was formed in 1789. What? Oh, yeah, like customs enforcement, where they're enforcing like stamps and taxes on imports and looking for people that are trying to enter the country. That like there was border security that existed before 2001. It's like they created this extra, and even back like in 2001 when they were creating DHS, even Republicans were saying like this is kind of unnecessary. We're like creating an extra like uh step in the bureaucratic process, right? Like we're creating more bosses that shit has to go through. All right. Well, let's keep tapping the screen. Make sure to share the live out. Let's see here. We could look up when the State of the Union's going to go. When is the State of the Union? I think it's at like 9 p.m. Eastern, if I'm correct. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern is going to be the State of the Union address, which again I think is going to just be a bunch of lies from Trump. I try to help him grasp ICE is the formation baby of the two. Oh, of INS and CBP. Either way, I don't think that states should just mandatorily cooperate with these untrained individuals that have only had like 47 days of training. And then we're finding out from whistleblowers that actually participated in this training that the training has changed completely because the budgets have been cut. The training curriculum has gone down. They're teaching them to, or they're saying that because of an executive order that they can commit like warrantless searches, and realize that I'm saying, they're doing a warrantless search because it's search and seizure. Like they may have a warrant or something over the person themselves, but in order to like enter a household, you need a warrant for that too. You can't just enter somebody's house because somebody's got a bench warrant. See, and I'm not sure if people even understand like how warrants work, uh, or like the term like exigent. Like maybe if they're being in pursuit and they're like running into a house and the cops are actively pursuing them, they could enter the house. Or if they're trying to destroy evidence, then you can enter like a place. But you can't just like go and knock down somebody's door because in 2008 somebody may have committed a misdemeanor that would then now is being looked at as a reason to deport them. So like it's just misinformation that seems to like come from a lot of the people that are just like being fed these facts, alternative facts, and then they're trying to like spit it back out as arguments. Man, we've really dropped in people here. Maybe the chat on TikTok did not like that guy. Here we go. Signal, not noise. Are you there? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going? Yep, I can.
All right. Can I just get your age real quick?
Yep, I'm over 30.
All right. And what's your take?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think, for me, MAGA succeeding is getting into office and not doing what the Democrats are proposing. So, in that respect, I think it's been a success. So,
Do you
I kind
think
of look at it
that
like that.
so to me a succeeding would be like you set a goal, right? So the things that you run on, say for the administration, the Trump administration, let's think back to what he was running on. Do you remember what he was running on?
Well, I mean, he ran on a huge platform of a lot of topics,
Yeah, but what were the
just
main
like everyone
ones?
does.
What were the main ones?
The main ones, the economy,
Yeah.
border security was one of
How's
the
the
main ones.
okay, let's go this point by point. How's the economy doing?
The economy's doing, I think, pretty good. I mean,
Good? Are you
yeah.
serious right now? Like job
Why is it
numbers?
doing
Have you seen job numbers? Have you seen the like global trade situation that we're in?
right? And I mean, everyone thought that these tariffs were going to, and they crashed for a day and bounced back like a couple of days later. So
Let's see here.
the
US
economy is pretty stable. I mean, I'm not seeing a
like
lot of evidence of the economy being bad. Maybe it's not as good as advertised. I would maybe concede that. But hey, you know,
How are your
part of the
groceries? Like, do you think that groceries have gotten cheaper?
I mean,
Th-
honestly, I have not tracked it close enough. I'm not looking at the grocery bill close enough myself, or I've not looked
That's like one of
and
the biggest things
researched.
that Trump ran on was like the price of groceries. Remember, like he had like this whole like groceries. What a weird word, because the guy's like so rich he like didn't even understand the concept of groceries.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I would say that they're not going up like they were with Biden. You can make excuses for the situation Biden was in, but they were going up a lot more than what they're going up in the first term 1 year in here. I would say, like, and I think I've seen some inflation numbers
Have
to
you
where
seen the price of like
inflation's
beef
down a
lately?
lot.
Have you seen like how much like the price of beef just alone has gone up since like 2024?
Like I said,
I've
I've not
watched
looked
it
at
go
the.
from like $5 to $6 a pound to like up to like $7 to $8 a pound for like low grade beef.
Like I said, I've not done research, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what I'm talking about. But I've not noticed it going up any. I noticed it going up dramatically with Biden. Like grocery bills were like a quarter more, like it was a
And
fourth more for groceries. I'm not seeing that with Trump,
so you were
but I haven't
tracking it
done
with
research.
Biden, but now you're not
No,
tracking it.
no, I wasn't tracking it. It's just you just realize over time, wow, my grocery bill is getting bigger. I'm not noticing that, but I'm not saying that that's making my point or disproving my point. I'm just
Right. So
I don't really have
you
anything else to
realize
say on
like
this.
we had there was COVID-19, there was supply issues like when it came to supply lines and how well they work. But you're just willing to just like let that go.
Well, that was
It
a crisis that he had. That was a crisis. So that I mean, part of the reason I'll be honest, part of the reason why inflation was bad was a lot of the things that are not happening now. But at the same time, you look at somebody who can barely function. Was he handling that situation well? If Trump was in a,
was
I mean,
Biden
inflation was
handling
cooling down.
COVID well? I think Biden actually did better than most other countries. Uh,
I don't know
like
that
I'm
Biden
pretty
did
sure like all
anything.
of the numbers show that America bounced back from COVID pretty well, like under Biden's like leadership. And I'm not a big fan of Biden. You know, like I'm not a huge like neo lib kind of guy, right? I'm more like leftist. I would say that Biden, you know, probably wouldn't stand 10 toes down on a lot of things that I would. So like I'm not a huge like Biden guy. I'm not gonna like sit there and wear Biden shirts or
Yeah,
hats or anything. So
yeah, yeah.
I would
And I
say
can't.
like objectively that if I were looking at it and comparing it to how other countries were doing at the same time, that Biden actually handled it very well.
So I don't know that we can like sit back and look back and really just sit here and have a conversation and say hypothetically. So my point I was making was, I mean, Trump shows that he's a man of action. He goes and he tackles problems. So I just think that, I mean, Biden
Yeah,
was
but he
incompetent.
set
I
expectations,
think.
right? So like let's look at what failing means, right? When you set an expectation, that's when you either succeed or you fail, right? Is you set a goal and you succeed at that goal or you fail at achieving that goal. That's how I would look at it. Thank you. Would you not agree? You
Well, I
were
mean,
trying to frame that success is just simply doing whatever the like is opposite of what the Democrats want. Thank you,
no,
Cubo.
I'm framing it on why I voted and what MAGA means to me. MAGA means to me looking out for your country, like making America great again. It means, like that's your primary
Yeah, and I'm
focus.
asking what's
And part
great?
of that is
Like
not.
what is improved? Because I can
So
tell you right now,
we can go down
grocery
the list
prices
and
have not
think,
gone down. The price of gas went down for a little bit there, but now it's about where it was. So
well, yeah, I mean, and that's.
like I don't even think that a lot of those things are directly involved with like the decisions of a president unless he's doing something like blanket tariffs. uh then yeah, we do have issues there. I would say
No,
that
it.
education
I would
is
argue.
being
I would argue
gutted.
that the president
I would say
definitely.
that healthcare is being
Hold on.
gutted.
Let's just stay on one topic. Let's stay on oil and gas prices. I mean, those have stabilized and, like you said, gone down. I would argue that
and then
has a
back up.
direct impact on. Okay, well, granting like drilling privileges and drill baby drill, like that policy, right? Like that is setting it. These oil companies start all this gets priced in, like based on like future expedition of oil. I mean, I don't know that much about the oil companies, but
Okay, so
I know that
let's
he's approving
just
more
take this
drilling, right? So
slowly.
that's
Then
gonna
let's
over
make sure you're
time.
not just pulling shit out of your ass.
So his focus is to drill more, and that's going to make oil stabilize and
Okay,
go
so
down, at least not go up.
has he given out more drilling permits?
I believe so. I mean, I've not done thorough research on it, but
Okay, so you're just going off of a promise that he had, right?
well, I'm going off the fact, like you said, oil prices went down. Now I could go do a dissertation and look at
I
the
mean, there's a
economics
lot
of
of
it
things
and all
that
the
can
variables.
affect oil prices. Like I said, you could reach into the reserves. You can create uh, like a fake like supply demand, like curve. You can
Right.
do a lot of
Okay.
things
Got it.
to change
Yeah,
like
and
the
it's
price of gas.
okay. And I'm not saying that we're going to come to a conclusion of what all the variables are and whether Trump's policies are reducing those. But all I'm saying is when you look at the alternatives, so you've got one side of the party, you've got the Democrats saying essentially, like, we want to get rid of oil. We want to move to all electric. We want
Yeah,
to restrict
that
drilling in
sounds.
every way possible
Why
for
would
the
we want to move
global
backwards?
warming. It's not that you want to move backwards. It's that you want to set up the American people with the
So
best form of success. And right now, electric cars are only going to make our lives more expensive right now. I mean,
how?
if the technology gets there, then people will adopt it. But right now,
China is able to
when
make
you
electric cars for pretty cheap. But we had like, for instance, Biden actually had a huge infrastructure bill that was going to end like tax credits for purchasing electric vehicles. I actually, my partner and I, we own an electric vehicle that we bought before that tax credit went out because we wanted a new car and we decided to get an electric car, and actually it's been great and cheap.
right, I mean, it can be, but it can also be. I think that the average cost of a car to get like a base model, very bare bones gas car is still significantly cheaper than getting a bare bones
Yeah,
electric car.
and who's benefiting from that? Are we benefiting from that, or are like oil companies and like private oil benefiting from that?
Well, can't both be true? Can't we benefit? Like if the cheapest way for people to get a vehicle and to have transportation right now is with a gas powered low cost vehicle, or even when you look at like a luxury model Tesla is going to be way more expensive than the same like trim
Yeah,
of
but I
a
just
gas
told
powered
you
car.
that like China is making like electric vehicles that are much more affordable, but we've completely like just drop that. Like they're not even going, like all the money that we spent setting up the infrastructure for like electric chargers and stuff, like they're gonna actually have to like remove chargers, which is gonna cost money in the end because these chargers are already there.
Okay, well then maybe we shouldn't have rushed in with the infrastructure bill and tried to force electric cars onto people when there's cheaper alternatives and the technology is not there to make it affordable yet.
But the technology was there, is what I'm saying. Like we were running in the right direction,
The
is what it
the
seemed like.
affordability of the technology for
Now
people is
Ford is,
there.
they're not going electric anymore. I think they like stopped their F-150s. uh which is like going against like Tesla, which is Elon Musk, which is Trump's like best friend or whatever. They're like at odds when it comes to this like thought. So to me it seems odd. Like didn't Trump actually like buy a Tesla or something from like make a big deal out of it for because Elon was
Well, I
like
think he was
upset?
he was gifted. I think he was gifted a Tesla, but you can have both. I'm not saying not to have electric cars. Like I think that they're fine. There's a lot of people that love
So
the electric cars. That's fine, but it's still, I think for the average person, if you look at the cost, it. So we were going down with Biden in control. Like
yeah, they were trying to
you
bring
have
that
the
cost
restriction.
down. They were trying to bring that cost down.
They're trying to bring the cost down, but they're also working. Like, I think part of the agenda on the
They
left, if
weren't
you're honest,
raising the
is
cost for oil. I mean, like carbon, like there's
if you're
environmental
restricting drilling.
factors.
Right, right. So, I mean, that's the motivation, is the environmental factors. So they're doing this
Do you
with
think that
the
that we should
intention
just
of
be burning
restricting.
oil for the rest of human like existence? You realize that oil's a finite resource, right?
I
It's not
think
renewable.
that I think that we should wait for the technology to become
Hey, Danny,
affordable before we start forcing policy onto people, where it's
it's
going to hurt the average American person and make their
giving a
transportation
tax
either,
credit
either unaffordable
and
or
setting up the
less
infrastructure
affordable.
to bring out to make it a more affordable is making it less affordable. I don't know how like did the prices of like oil like gas vehicles go up?
No, it's not the fact that the gas vehicle prices are going up. It's the fact that they are currently more affordable, and it's the fact that the left is restricting drilling, which makes oil prices go up. When the U.S. has less oil,
We
there
didn't have
it makes
less oil.
it's less.
Like the
It's
reason
just
why
supply and
gas was
demand.
going up is not because the president was doing something. It's really not up to the president. It's supply and demand.
No, there's a lot
This
that's up
is
to the
up
president
to
for
the
permitting
permits.
drilling.
Do you think that the drilling permits is what is really like setting the price of what like it per gallon or even per barrel what gasoline is?
I don't know the extent of the impact, but I know it has
Yeah,
an
it
impact. And
sounds like you don't. Like you're
well,
just
I
you're
mean,
just
it's
kind of running with these like talking points and you're not like
well
thinking
because
about
it
them
is.
like critically.
Okay, no, I am thinking about it critically because I know, and you would agree that it has an impact. Would
I'm not
you?
so sure. Do they drop the price of
So
oil in America?
drilling,
Because last I heard, we ship oil that we drill out and we import oil at a cheaper price. So like we're selling our oil for more than what we're like buying oil for. So we were making a profit. There was no need to drill anymore. Like that's just taking extra resources out of the ground.
don't you know, like just like basic economics, like if there's more oil, if we're producing more oil, and then the
Drilling permits
world
generally do
amount
not
of
directly or immediately drop the price of oil. While increased permitting may suggest higher future supply, uh, OPEC production levels and geopolitical events, permits often go unused. So this, like the permits are being given out, but are they actually drilling? That's another thing. These are like things that you got to look at. And
right,
like,
but
have you ever seen like Mr. Global? He's like a guy on TikTok here that I would suggest maybe like looking into. I would say that he's maybe a little bit partisan, but for the most part, he's just worried about like oil and how like that all works. And yeah, we all love Mr. Global. It says Carolina. So yeah, I would agree. Like look up Mr. Global because he's gonna give you pretty like solid facts on these things, and he's not happy with how things are going lately.
yeah, I don't know anything about. I mean, all I'm saying is you've got a president advocating for lowering oil prices, and then you've got another side of the party that wants the oil prices as high as possible because they want people converting to
Or is
electric.
it perhaps
And
that he's trying
I
to
mean, that's the
enrich
basic platform.
like OPEC, uh, like oil magnates, like in Saudi Arabia, Iran, other places? It doesn't seem to me that isn't like a concern. Like you don't think that he's not just trying to like make maybe a quick buck out of this? Because I mean, the guy's obviously corrupt and is trying to get money however he can. And it seems like this pivot towards like back to oil is like taking like 2 steps forwards and then like 3 steps backwards. And
But
it doesn't
not
actually
for the.
seem to me like it's in the best interest of the people at all.
So you already conceded that oil prices and gas prices have gone down, and then they've at least stabilized. They've not gone up like they did under Biden's administration. So how is
I'm
that
saying that
hurting you?
they're at
Because
the
gas
they're like
prices are one of our
anymore.
biggest.
Gas is about the same price as what it was with Obama. Like I don't, or I mean not Obama, Biden, whatever. So I don't
But they were
understand. Like I personally don't think that the president has much to do with the price of gas, is what I'm saying. Like supply and demand, unless you look at things like trying to like break huge infrastructure bills or put blanket tariffs on, like then yeah, you're going to affect things that affect like the price of gas or even the price of groceries or the price of beef. So when it comes to things like that, we've lost a lot of trade partners, especially when it comes to like local resources, like resources as in like parts that we normally would ship in. Now like there's this idea that we're supposed to be like moving manufacturing back into the country, but like that's not going to happen at the snap of a finger. So like what is going
So I
on
mean, a
here?
lot of these that are happening are a lot of these things are to set us up for the future. But all these things, like you say, okay, it takes 2 years to build a factory. Yes, that's true. So like we're going to get the job benefit in 2 years, but all of these things
Are
can
we
start to
though?
benefit
Like
people
I'm
now.
not
Like, well,
sure.
I mean, okay, so we're giving permits out, and they're going to start drilling in 2 years. But like that gives us more leverage as
There's a
a country because we're
possibility of
going
that. A
to in
lot
the
of permits
future.
go unused.
Okay, but if you're trying to, like, if you're a administration and you're on a platform like the Democrats are restricting oil, you like that's clearly the motivation.
Are they
You because
restricting
your
oil?
big
Like
concern is global warming.
so like not giving out useless permits
Not
is
only
not
are you
restricting oil.
restricting oil, not only are you restricting oil, Biden was passing different initiatives to make car manufacturers produce a certain percentage of electric cars. So then, what is that going to do? Well, that's going to make gas-powered cars go
That would
up.
make
So
the price of
everything is
electric
forcing people
vehicles
into electric.
and the competition between gas and electric higher.
Why do
So
we need the
maybe
administration manipulating competition? Why don't you just make the electric cars where people want to buy them without having to force manufacturers? Because all that's going to do is raise the price of gas-powered cars because the demand is going to be the same. So gas gas-powered cars are going to go up in price, and then there's going to be more electric.
gas
So all they're
powered
trying to do
cars
is
are
move
going up in
people
price
towards electric.
because now we are only like we're not able to like ship in like foreign cars because there's tariffs on the parts, there's tariffs on the
Okay,
cars. So
okay, tariffs are not really what we're talking about, even though there's tariffs for vehicles, I agree. But we're talking about specifically the policies that are pushing people towards electric when the technology and the affordability of the technology is not there. So you're making people's lives more expensive. I don't know all the details on what
I mean
all the
I would say
variables that
that
go into
the
it, but obviously, hold on. You have one party which is trying to, and they ran on a platform of lowering gas prices, on drilling more, and on reversing those policies that are pushing people towards electric cars.
okay, have
And that
gas
and all of
prices
those
gone
things
down?
make
Have gas
things
prices gone
affordable.
down overall?
You just conceded that they had gone down this year. Yes.
They went down and then they went back up, right? Because gas went down in winter, and now that the weather is getting warmer, it's going back up because demand is higher.
Okay, and then if we had the Democrats in with no drilling permits being given out,
No
and
drilling permits. What are you talking about? Like not giving out useless drilling permits is fine to me. If they're not going to use these drilling permits, then why are we giving them out?
oh, so you're saying nobody
And
uses
actually,
drilling permits that are given out?
wasn't like a big talking point was that they were drilling more than they ever had before. I
I would.
feel like I remember hearing that.
I mean, I would love to have the time to really do a thorough analysis of it. But all I'm saying is you've got one party clearly, openly running on a platform that does not care about drilling, that is opposed to drilling. That's why in some of these debates that they had
I'm
before the
not so
last
sure
election,
about that. I think that they were trying to like put forth a step towards like the future when it comes to renewable resources and to stop like carbon emissions and the burning of gasoline, because have you ever seen or smelt the exhaust that comes out of the back of a car? It's not very good for the environment. It's not good for your lungs.
Well, that's not because there's carbon coming out of it. That's because there's other emissions coming out of it.
Sure, emissions. Replace carbon with emissions.
Okay, but that's not what's motivating anybody. What's motivating Democrats on reducing emissions is because it has a carbon impact.
Yeah, they use like carbon tax as a way to like handle this problem, which is also, you know, like the EPA has been completely like gutted, and a lot of the agencies that we once relied on have been gutted. I would say to give more, you know, like freedoms to private interest. Like, did you recently see how they are allowing more, like, was it glycophosphate or whatever, to be used, which is linked to cancer, uh, with like Roundup? Like,
I
what I'm
believe
just saying
like
is that
RFK
like
is
these
being used
agencies
for
that we once
specific
had
things.
as protection, have been like completely like cut of their power to protect us when it comes to things like, you know, companies like dumping in rivers or burning and creating more emissions, and making the environments worse for not just like the immediate surrounding neighborhoods, but also, oh, thank you, uh
There's no evidence of that.
overall.
Show me the evidence of that, because just because they're cutting funding for the, let's just say, the EPA, or changing things out, or bringing Doge in to find efficiencies, doesn't mean that they're not,
Do you think
that
Doge
people are all
do
of a
you
sudden
think Doge
polluting
saved us any
rivers. Like,
sort of money?
show me the evidence of rivers being more polluted. Show me the evidence what you're talking about, because you're just assuming.
So, for instance, what was it called? Glyphosates. It's in the news. It's a big, very
Glyphosate,
big.
which is Roundup,
Yeah. So
which
Trump,
RFK is working.
yeah, RFK just went like he once said that glyphosate was a problem. Now he's saying that it's not a problem. That Roundup uses other chemicals, and that glyphosate is not a problem any longer, and that we need more of it. You teacupped. I'm not. I can't see you, so I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that exactly, but I know that RFK is taking out dyes from food. Like, so you're
They've
saying that
overturned the dye thing too. They're
they've overturned the dye
so
thing.
yeah, is food dye regulation happening? Let me see in the news. Anger as Trump FDA retreats from plan to ban artificial colors in food. This is from 3 days ago from The Guardian.
From the
Uh-oh.
Guardian. Okay, that's, I would say, not a source. Just reading a
FDA to
headline.
phase out dyes. Let's see here. The FDA doesn't exist anymore. Let's see. That's old. This is, let's see, food dye in the news.
But I mean, just back to the
Washington
main point.
Examiner, FDA slammed over new loophole relaxing artificial food dye ban. Uh-oh. So
Well, I
like
mean,
it
these
sounds
things
to
are
me
gonna
like they say a lot, but when it comes to like talking the talk and walking the walk, they're not. So like a lot of promises, which are things that you're bringing up, are like things that they promised, and that they like set these expectations, and people apparently just don't look at that. They just like run with it, like you are. Like they're not looking back and saying like, oh, are they actually sticking to their word? You're not doing that. Like I don't understand.
Well, I mean, this is a plan. Like, it was never like, oh,
Yeah, but when they're not
food
doing the things
food
they
dyes
say
are
they're gonna
completely.
do, how is that succeeding?
So so why are they saying that they're backing off of the plan? Because, I mean, it's not unusual to have legal challenges, and these things go through a legal process. I don't know what the
Let's
reasoning
see.
is for.
Let's bring up this article here. Anger as Trump FDA retreats from plan to ban artificial in food. Or yeah, experts say the new labeling could deceive consumers as dangerous substances are still allowed under new rules. In a further retreat from its pledge to ban artificial food dyes, Donald Trump's Food and Drug Administration announced that it would loosen labeling requirements to allow companies to state that no artificial colors, even though products, so like their products will say no artificial colors, but they still contain some of the dangerous substances such as titanium dioxide. The FDA in early February announced it would allow food makers to claim that no artificial color labeling as long as the dyes are not petroleum based. But the health experts say that even some naturally based additives present health risks and the labeling would deceive consumers.
Okay. So let's just go back because you read a headline and had an opinion and stated it like a fact based on the headline, and the reality is that there's some nuance there. So they're banning certain dyes, petroleum-based dyes. They're banning.
Yeah, but then
Now
they
there's some debate.
deregulated the use of the label for no artificial food coloring.
Okay.
So
All right.
like petroleum based food coloring, yeah, sure. Looks like they did one thing with the right hand, but with the left hand they're doing something completely different.
It doesn't. It sounds like they restricted some, and some they decided to not restrict. So it doesn't mean that they're like what? I mean, they're still taking action. They're just not taking the full action that they.
I don't know what the hell they're doing.
It
It sounds to me like they're deceiving the consumer, is what it sounds to me.
No,
Like,
I mean the FDA is going to control like how you label things.
like
So
why would they like, again with the glyphosate even? Kennedy doubles down on defense of Trump glyphosate order amid MAHA backlash. This is from The Hill. Let's see here. Health and Human Services Secretary RFK is doubling down on his defense of Trump's executive order boosting a controversial pesticide, which drew fury from members of the MAHA movement. MAHA movement, spearheaded by Kennedy, is skeptical of big pharma, especially vaccines. Yeah, we know about that. Tensions erupted last week when Trump signed an executive order that was supportive of glyphosate, the key ingredient to Roundup, which thousands of people have made cancer claims in like tort litigation. Kennedy, in a post on X, implied that the pesticides can cause health problems, but said they are necessary to ensure an adequate food supply. So now his like narrative on Roundup is like changing. I support President Trump's executive order to bring agricultural chemical production back to the United States and end our near total reliance on adversarial nations when hostile actors control. This is just, let's see. The Trump administration will secure these supply chains. They talk a lot. Kennedy also defended the order last week, saying that it puts America first where it matters most. Let's see. Well, the glyphosate saga has been in dispute between Trump and the MAHA leadership. So it sounds to me like this glyphosate, which is what I'm sure RFK was saying, like not healthy to people, is now being used more.
So, but I mean, it also sounds like we're bringing production of that back to America. I don't know.
They're saying that so we should have more like of this cancer causing things that we should be exposing our population to.
I would have to do more research. Like I said, I've not even looked at this glyphosate debate, but I mean the glyphosate has been.
I guess this has
been around for a long time. Like this has been something that no one has taken action on. Like Biden didn't take action on it. Now we've got RFK at least bringing it up, and if Trump is coming in and disagreeing with him and passing an executive order, then that's an L for RFK. Like I don't know what to say, but he is doing things like these government agencies are doing things.
Administration, if they're increasing something that with the idea of that we're going to make America healthy again, and then we're going to increase things that don't make Americans healthy. In fact, it does the opposite.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
so it's secretly making Americans sick again.
No, it's not again because glyphosate has
just making Americans sick.
No, it's keeping the status quo is what it would be.
I never heard Trump he issued this executive order to increase glyphosate production.
production.
use.
So that's part of making us less dependent on outside countries producing it. I don't know what the strategic reason is for that, but that doesn't mean that we're increasing the usage of glyphosate. Glyphosate is used to kill weeds in crops.
So instead of us just like buying it, where it's being made, like, I don't know, perhaps in at least where Americans aren't being exposed to it, right? We're just going to expose American to the production, and that's good.
I mean, I don't know that. I would assume that you can do that safely without putting Americans at risk when you're making glyphosate. I don't know what the process is. I would assume that you're going to have airtight containers where you're brewing these chemicals. I don't know anything about how they manufacture glyphosate, but why would you assume that it's going to put workers in danger? It's moving production back to our country, which is the whole point of the tariffs. That's the Trump philosophy. I don't know whether, I mean, there's a lot of debate on the right of whether tariffs are right or not, and whether, but that's his prerogative to try to bring production of glyphosate. I don't know what the reasons are. I'd have to research it more. But what you're saying is that that RFK is not doing anything, but he is. I mean, they're doing things. It's not exactly what RFK would want, but that's part of the debate and the administration. And Trump,
these are
the
just
president, so he
two
gets the final call.
recent stories here. That glyphosate, something that RFK was against, is being they're trying to increase glyphosate production in America, which it sounds bad to me because there's links to cancer. And then the artificial food dye, they're loosening regulations.
They're banning They're banning.
They're loosening regulations on the labeling.
And they're not loosening. I don't think so. They're maybe loosening it from what RFK proposed. So, but they're still banning food dyes. Certain food dyes they're banning, which were never banned before.
Petroleum based, but not like what was
it? But so let's just ignore the fact. So don't say that they're only loosening labeling, and that's the only thing that the article said that you read. No, it said that they're banning certain types of food dyes. It sounds like certain types, there's labeling debate going on, and there's certain types of food dyes like titanium dioxide, like you mentioned, which are not, they're in debate.
If there's harmful artificial dye in something, but they're allowed to put a label on it that says there's no artificial dyes in this, do you think that that's good?
I think that that's probably been what's been going on forever. So, and I am glad that we're banning food dyes.
So they're not doing what they promised. Once again, they're setting in expectations, but they're not succeeding in achieving that expectation.
Okay, so just because but like politics are compromise, and
I mean, I agree there.
Done. So I mean, he's getting some things done. It's probably not all of what RFK would have wanted, but RFK didn't get elected. Trump got elected. So, and part of this is compromise, and you're not going to get everything you want. It doesn't mean it's a complete 100% failure. It means that you made a compromise, you got some things done, and you had to compromise on some things. So yeah, check. That's one thing that he did. And then it sounds like glyphosate, sounds like they're not banning that, but they're changing the production cycle. It sounds like RFK is going to continue to.
They ran on a platform of make Americans healthy again, and it sounds to me like the things that were making us healthy, like healthcare, they cut with regulations.
So
they've gutted like the EPA. They've changed up the FDA. DHHS has been gutted.
Healthy? Because you weren't able to give any examples. You're just assuming that they're polluting the rivers and the air.
Are you serious? Like,
give me
do you know
examples.
what like PFAs are?
Just
like
forever
chemicals. You know that like part of the things that have been proposed is that they're increasing on like lessening regulations for private industries when it comes to like things like PFAs. And I see this does get to personal. Like I wasn't going to mention this, but like I am a cancer survivor myself. I had testicular cancer, bilateral. It was kind of a freak thing. It turns out that something that is related to testicular cancer is the PFAs that have been entering into our water tables. And when we look at like PFA like research, which has not been happening, and I'm not saying that that's a Democratic win or a Republican win, but it's certainly not happening any like more. They're actually loosening the regulations of PFAs. there is a connection though between my cancer and like companies that created certain fire retardants and like non-stick pan coatings. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I personally have been affected. Whether or not I'm looking at trying to get damages for that is beside the point. But like, that is now not something that they're making as a promise. They're loosening the regulations, so people are probably going to get more of a chance to get cancer from things like PFAs.
So I would
So
have to
like,
do again, like I would have to do
hopefully
legitimate research on that. Hold on. Let me just make a quick
they
point.
increase regulation again, so other young men don't have to go through what I had to go through. Like, I have a 14-inch scar on my gut right now because of the cancer that I got. And yeah, there is a correlation between the water table of where I grew up and high PFA levels, like extremely high, because we didn't have regulation in that area. It was in the Midwest.
So first of all, I mean, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're
Oh yeah,
healthy.
I'm doing all right now. I can't have children, and I had to get like 60 lymph nodes removed, and like, it was thousands and thousands of dollars that I had to spend out of my pocket. So,
Right.
like, I could sit here and like and make a real big stink about this, but like, what I'm saying is that there is a connection between what I have and these higher levels. Now, whether or not I'm going to like be able to legally say that the connection's there, and maybe in due time, but like, that's what is going on with the glyphosate and its connection to cancer, like with Roundup. So like,
Right. So
personally, I don't want kids
yeah, I just
to
was gonna
especially
say,
like young men to like end up with testicular cancer. That's scary. It's really scary. When it's in your
yep,
water
absolutely.
too. But the EPA was doing something, like they set these levels and they had testing, but the funding for that testing and the levels and regulations that they were setting are now being gutted, like they're being loosened in the interest of like private interests, like for these
So I
companies
would
that
say
make
this.
things like these flame retardants and non-stick surfaces for pans, Scotch Guard.
Yeah, I mean, I just would say, I mean, I definitely am for having restrictions on these things. I mean, I get frozen peas and I don't heat them up in the bag because I don't want. I mean, because that's a real thing. Like,
Right.
for sure. I would just say this too. I mean, you just kind of when we go based on headlines from the Guardian and the Hill or whoever, same thing with a right wing headline. You do have to go and read the article.
Yeah,
So I mean,
and really, I agree. I agree that we should critically be
All of us
looking
are
at there should be media literacy, and we shouldn't be running with like promises and then just like saying, oh yeah, that's what they did. Like, that's what you were saying
right.
earlier, was like saying, like, he said drill drill drill, and like prices of gas hasn't like gone down. Like, a lot of these things he said, like day one, the gas and egg prices are, and it's like, no, these aren't things that are up to the president, right? Like, there was bird flu going on, there was COVID, there's supply chains, there's supply and demand, there's so much more that goes into it, that like a lot of people that were kind of against his platform were saying, like, these aren't things that are really up to the president. Like, we shouldn't be like focusing on the price of eggs because we're going through like a bird flu. Like, we should be focusing on things like the overall economy, like GDP, maybe the healthcare availability for like raising a child. Like, birth rates is a big thing that a lot of people on the right want to like bring up, but I don't see where they're doing anything to make raising a child any cheaper.
Well, I mean, one of the big things was
Thanks,
the
Lauren.
doubling of the standard deduction was set to go down in 2026, and that's been expanded indefinitely because there
That
was
was a
a sunset on it when Trump.
Trump tax policy.
Right, but it would not have gotten passed. Trump extended that with the
How do you
big
know that?
beautiful bill.
How do you know that we wouldn't have extended or maybe even increased the standard deduction? What the big beautiful bill to me has shown is that it created more like loopholes and private like corporation like tax cuts, and they gave little
When
benefits to
when
like
have
people like
when have
yourself or
Democrats
myself by
when have
saying things
Democrats
like no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, when actually it's not no tax on overtime, it's actually no tax on the half when it comes to time and a half.
Okay, so there's no tax on tips, which has never been passed by a Democrat. There's doubling of the standard deduction.
That
Name me
was
the last
actually
time.
introduced on the platform of Bernie Sanders. That's like something that
Okay,
they
but
could have
when
run
did they
on.
ever pass it? When was that? When's the last time that a
I'm
Democrat
saying
doubled
that
the
it's
standard
not that big
deduction?
of a deal. Like it's really not
It's a
saving
huge
us that much
deal.
money. It's not
Are you
though.
kidding? It's like $8,000 a year.
N-
It's a huge deal for families.
Do you think that this is like when it comes to tips too, like it has to be like cash only tips. There's all of these like extra like loopholes that people don't realize.
Okay, but it's
Like,
still reducing tax for the people that qualify for it.
but at
Tax
the
is
same
always
time, is
loophole.
it reducing it at the same amount that they're reducing taxes for like corporations? Because what I
I
see
mean,
is that we've
maybe not,
increased
but
our deficit spending, and therefore have also created a new tax with the tariffs. Like that's a new like sales tax, like an excise tax on imports that the American consumer has to deal with.
well, that's lowering the deficit, though. That was the idea behind this. But
Right, but
I mean,
now the Supreme Court has struck that down, and all of these companies are going to be able to get refunded. They're going to be owed that by the federal government, which is also again our tax dollars. But guess what? We, the consumers, are probably not going to get that refund. The business owners will, and not to mention, there's weird like connections with like Howard Lutnick and what that company that he owns and how they were like buying up insurance basically on tariffs.
do you
Like that's
realize that
another.
Biden had the Senate and Congress for 2 years, and they passed a bill that was the infrastructure bill.
Yeah, that was a
They
huge
didn't pass.
bill.
What benefit did we get for our taxes on that? There was no.
Actually, so
They
like
could have.
I'm
They could have done
actually
so.
able to like stream better on the internet because fiber internet was introduced with that bill, like largely like building that out, so internet access went up. They actually replaced our water lines in my neighborhood, in all of the neighborhoods around here. If not, like you could
And
probably
they
even look
gave
up
and they
so they
gave no tax
replaced
breaks.
lead based
I would rather have $8,000
piping
in my pocket.
than having old like lead poisoning in your water.
I mean,
Because
most of the
you
piping in
realize like there's other things that go into
municipalities,
this, so
that's
like
their
there's people that have to
responsibility.
do the work. There's companies that provide the like the like pipes, the new pipes that would be replacing these old like lead containing pipes. And yeah, those are just like two parts of just like the bigger infrastructure bill, which was helping a lot of things. We were like we were fixing roads, where we were setting up a whole new infrastructure for EVs. Like there are parts in like the country where it's like a charger desert. Like it would be kind of difficult to drive in because you might run out of battery. Like you got to make sure that you're charged up before you enter these like kind of areas where there's like nowhere. It's like like when you go in the country and you don't have a gas station nearby. So like yeah, the infrastructure bill
I got it, but
I
all these
think
things
largely
are
was a
these
success.
are good.
And like that's not me being partisan either. Like this is like me just like looking at what I've gained from it like personally. And like another big bill like the American Rescue Plan Act I think was also a large success as far as like COVID recovery comes. Bear 2026, you realize that water lines and the like funding for water lines are subsidized by the federal government. Yeah, they are done by state and city, like in a local like management, but like the money that they got in order to do the replacements for those water lines came from the infrastructure bill. So yeah, like the
Yeah, I mean, there was
lead-based
there's
piping.
obviously there was there was good things in there that helped people, but like you have to look at it like, was it worth it? And like,
Yeah,
is it
I would
really
say
being run
largely
efficiently
that
from Washington D.C.? Is
exposing
this
our
really being
children
rolled out efficiently?
to lead less is much very much worth it. And I'd rather have that than have $1,000 that I'm going to go blow on candy or something. I don't know. Like something stupid. I'd rather like have them make large
It's
sweeping
like eight
changes in
thousand
things.
dollars for families. It's like an $8,000 deduction for families. I don't know how much the individual, whatever your standard deduction when you
eight
file your
thousand
taxes
dollars
this
is
year.
not that much. Like to me, like that's really not that much. Like
Okay,
I
but
mean, it,
for
it,
a
it can mean a
family,
lot for a lot of people, but when it comes to like
yeah, for most
fixing
people.
fixing the infrastructure and like their overall health, I'd rather be taxed more out of my like wages personally, uh, to give people better access to healthcare, so they can do things like if they're afraid of some lump in their you know down there, that they can go to the doctor and get that checked instead of like letting it sit because they're too afraid to go in because it's going to cost too much money to go get an ultrasound.
Well, do you realize that healthcare is so high because Obamacare has made the premiums go up so high because
Obamacare didn't
people
make
can
those
just
premiums go up.
people. Yes, he
It
did because
was
listen. Let me just run you through a
and you
scenario.
know that Trump and the Republicans have had since like 20 was it 12 to like counter what was, I would say that yeah, Obamacare and the ACA like was not a very good like improvement from what we had, but it was an improvement. And
Well, and it was
like it was also
unconstitutional.
not the original plan.
The individual man.
Like with what we ended up with was not what was introduced, right? Like so
I can
Republicans made a big
I
stink
can tell you why it
because
doesn't work.
private insurance was
No, that's
not
not why.
benefiting enough.
I will
So
tell you
they,
very
instead
briefly why
of
it
giving
doesn't
it
work.
universal health care, Medicare for all, which is, if you remember back in 2012, that's what they were trying to introduce, was Medicare for all, basically. Uh, they turned it into this idea of like a marketplace where private healthcare is still the way to like go about it. And I remember all of these, like McCain and a lot of people uh, were like, well, I think that having the choice of like being able to choose your healthcare, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like choosing,
Okay.
so you
I
could
don't
choose
really care.
one
No,
private
no.
healthcare
Hold on.
or another private healthcare. Why not just tax
Hold on.
us and provide universal healthcare
Can
like
I say
other
something?
modern countries?
Can I say something real quick? So I don't really care like the story behind it. It was passed by the Democrats. They passed it. So this
No, it
came
was
in. Why
passed
it
by,
doesn't
it
work
was
right
a
now? Hold on. Let
bipartisan.
me tell you. Okay. No, it was not. Let me tell
Yes.
you why it does not
Do
work.
you not remember? I don't know
Okay.
how old you
Fine.
are.
Whatever.
You said
Fine.
you're over
I
30.
don't care. Like,
That the
okay. Well then
ACA
maybe
and
maybe
Obamacare
John
was
McCain voted for it,
introduced,
which is not
and
even
then Republicans in the
which is
Senate
so
had
rhino.
to like they made a lot of like guff about it, and they got it like turned into what it is now, which is this marketplace that is subsidized uh in order to bring the cost of healthcare down, like overall, when it comes to people that don't have access to healthcare, say by like their employer. um and yeah, it does get a little
Can I?
handy
Okay.
for people that may be unemployed, but they are still having to deal with
Let me let
huge
me
like
explain.
deductibles and
Let me
uh
explain one thing.
go on.
Okay. Gotcha. I know it's bad right now. It's really bad.
So what's
Let me
the
explain to you why it's
Republican
bad.
answer
Because it
to
was
it?
unconstitutional. The individual mandate. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. It was taken out. Now what you have is I'm a guy and I am still right now. I don't $20,000 a year have health insurance. It's I just lost my job in the middle of July. All I have to do is make it 6 months, and then guess what? I can not have insurance. I can get cancer in December, and then I can jump on a health plan for all of the next year, and then I'm fully covered. So the
Wait,
individual
wait, wait,
mandate
wait.
prevented people
Hold
from
on.
doing that. The individual mandate made you be in the pool, or you had
The
to pay a
mandate
penalty.
has not
Now,
existed since like
now what you have is no. Listen, now
2017.
what you have is
There's no
people are
mandate.
only buying
There's no
insurance.
mandate, dude.
People are
There's
only
no
buying.
mandate.
I know there's not a mandate. I'm talking about what
So
it was.
then
It
what the
was
hell are
set
you
up.
talking about?
It only made sense with because it only made sense with a mandate. Now you have the reason premiums are high is because people are jumping on
No,
the health
premiums are
care when they
high.
have cancer or something.
Do you know that premiums are high because private interest is trying to make a profit? They're trying to beat their last year, like year over year. These insurance companies are making record profits. So yeah, when they're trying to compare their last year to this year,
That's not why
the reason why
premiums are high.
premiums go
Premiums
up.
are high because the pool of people is down. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I do have to go, but you should research how insurance works and pooling of people and employee benefits.
Yeah, premiums are going up because people are getting off of Medicare. They've been cut. They increased the
individual
regulation
mandate is why
for Medicare recipients that they have to be either volunteering 40 or like 20 up to like 20 to 30 hours a week or something like that. Otherwise, they're going to get cut from their Medicaid. Or so like yeah, the pool
reason why it's
of
going up is
people
because
that are going to
we
need
don't because the
private
individual mandate
insurance
is gone.
goes up. So that means the premiums go up. The demand goes up. I realize
Individual
this.
mandate is gone. That's why the premiums have gone up so much.
The
Individual
premiums,
mandate is gone, so people
I'm
just get
saying
insurance when they need it.
my whole thing and what Obamacare was supposed to do until private interest got their hands too like deep into these things was that it was supposed to replace private like insurance for the most part. Things like elective surgeries could be covered by private insurance, but like people don't go to the doctor now because of the bill. It's not because they think they're gonna like be okay. Are you there? I think I might have lost you. Signal, not noise. I don't seem to have a signal. It's like no signal, no noise. Signal, are you there? He left. All right. Well, that was a bunch of like just bad information once again. And like my point to all of this is that we are running with a lot of ideas and there's no like looking into it that's done with it. So like Trump made a bunch of promises which are not being kept, which I would call failing. And we're being told that these promises are being kept. We're being lied to, or like people just don't care. Like when they're paying extra, it makes no sense to me why anybody would like say like we're succeeding right now. Yeah, the guy did not know what he was talking about. Less people on insurance means it's going to cost more for premiums because now the pool of people that are going to be getting private insurance, the demand is going up. Okay, Brian, do you want to come up and talk to me instead of try to like or like to give me guff on how many people are watching right now? Hmm? Like, let's actually like talk about the points that I'm bringing up. I realize that TikTok algorithms work in a certain way. Brian, do you want to come up so we could talk? Like the size of the audience is not something that I'm very concerned with. I'm actually more concerned about having like good conversations, right? And if I can like help somebody, even like if they're talking to me directly or if they're listening, then that was worth it, right? Your clown shoes are at the laundromat. Okay, so you don't want to talk. You just want to like bitch. Like, do you have any good points, Brian? Why did Israel unalive Charlie Kirk? I don't know. Good question. I'm not saying that they may have, but that's a good question. Well, you should look into that. I don't think that we should be working with Israel. Let's see here. What Indigo. You just saying the same things like spamming. Let's see over here on YouTube. If you do want to come up, you can just type in this tinyurl.com/deconjunk if you're making it stink on YouTube and you don't want to, like back up what you're trying to put forth. Like I'm trying to actually have like an honest discussion here. And really all I'm asking like the last caller is to just think on things critically. Maybe just look into what they may have been promised, like what they were voting for, to see if they're delivering on that. Because everything that we went over does not seem like they're delivering on that at all. Well, come up, Brian. Do you think MAGA is failing or not? Do you think they're succeeding? Do you think Trump is doing a good job? And why? Because I personally don't. Erica, what? We had the wall paid for, but the left kept it from finishing. You realize that Steve Bannon, wasn't it Steve Bannon, like was part of a huge scam with the construction of the wall on the southern border? Mad Rush. Yeah, it doesn't seem like common sense is a thing anymore. Bear 2026, I agree with you. I would say that, like just thinking critically is all I'm asking for. And like this is of course baity, right? Like this is trying to get people up here to just like discuss. But what I'm really trying to ask people to do is to look at things a little bit with a closer eye and to maybe question what they're being told instead of just, like eating it up like it's some sort of like delicious dish that you just don't want to look at the ingredients of. Like, who gives a crap about Steve Bannon? I mean, I don't give a shit about Steve Bannon myself, but I'm just saying, like, when they were running on the wall, there was a huge, like, promise, and then it ended up like Steve Bannon made like a bunch of money off of, like, MAGA supporters that were trying to send money to build the wall. Oh shit, Orange Man Bad live streamer. I'm not trying to like sit here and just say like Orange Man bad. I'm trying to ask people how we're succeeding. Like that's the point, is to like justify the claim, because I feel like I can justify mine. And the idea is to have a discussion on that and to hopefully maybe get through to some people. All right. Well, on TikTok, we definitely have like dried up, haven't we? Uh let's see, 541. All right. I'm gonna actually call it. We had a couple good discussions there. I hope everybody does try to tune in on the State of the Union. Actually, try and actually not tune in because it's probably going to be lies. If anything, try and like follow somebody that else is like watching it, so you're not giving it the viewership and ad revenue that they're trying to get. But I guarantee that things like $2 plane tickets are probably going to be promised again. Do you remember that? I do. It apparently seems like the American people have a very short memory when it comes to like these promises. Yeah, thank you, Seema. But yeah, in the meantime, let's if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. I do try and go live from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. We're just about to reach 6 p.m. in my time zone. So yeah, I should be here tomorrow around the same time. Make sure you guys have a good night, and yeah, I don't know, just like go and look into some of these things. Just search it. All right. Have a good one.